guys! Today I want to tell you about 5 words which are very difficult to pronounce for English learners. Let's check if you pronounce these words correctly, and if you don't, well, I think it's high time we learned the correct pronunciation of them. The first word is percent. I hear that every day, really. You can't imagine how much work we have to do to correct this word. Especially if you are learning English for business, it's very important that you pronounce it correctly. It comes from the French word, that's why it's probably very difficult. And there are 2 different spellings. It can be written as one word, it can be written as 2 words. And right now, this second spelling is more popular. But I wanted to write it to you because probably this way will help you to learn how to pronounce it correctly. Because cent, the French word, means 100. This is 100. And per, well, we have this word in English, yeah? So it's 4. Basically, when you say 5%, it means 5 for 100. That's why the main stress goes to the second part of the word. English learners often try to say percent or procent, yeah, similar to their languages, but it should go to the main word because this is the main word, this is the preposition. We know that the stress doesn't go to prepositions, right? So that's why we say percent. And it's not c, it's c, cent in French, and this is e. Our favorite English sound e. That's why you say percent. Okay, for example, 10%. I got 10% from the last deal, and so on and so on. Please practice reading the sentences right now.
1. Our sales are down 5%. 2. I am sleepy 95% of the time.
Another difficult word for English learners, it is Europe. I hear all different variants, so Europe, different ways people are trying to say it, but it's you. For example, if you speak Russian, it's like Yula. Imagine that you say this word, Yula, yeah? So it's you, and the stress goes to this first syllable, because again, if you are a French speaker, you could try to say Europe or here, yeah, to the second. No, it's Europe. Repeat after me. Europe. So you, not L. And the trick of this word is actually in the moving stress, because when you want to say European Commission, European Union, it's not, the stress is not on the first syllable anymore. So you don't say European, so you say European. The stress moves, but it's still you, this type of pronunciation. So repeat after me again. Europe, European. Poland is a part of the European Union. Again, look at the sentences in the next screen and practice pronouncing them.
1. Do you live in Europe? 2. I like small European towns.
And another word. And you know, the most typical reaction to this word, when people look at this combination of the letters, they're like, I have no idea how to say it. I mean, this happens a lot, really, for English learners. Well, the trick of this word, it's not a very difficult word in pronunciation, but the spelling is crazy, yeah? So basically, most of these letters are not said. So you have k, and then this one, well, a little bit similar, but contrary to all the rules. I'm sorry. So it's you, okay? And these two sounds are silent. So basically you say Q, that's all. Q, yeah? The line of the people when you are waiting for something. Well, I got stuck in a queue. That's probably why in American language we use the word line instead. I really think it's happened because it's much easier to say. So queue, queue. And the next difficult word, brewery, brewery. Brew, it's like to boil, but we usually say it about drinks, about beer, about some lemonades and so on and so on. Well, you already know this sound, right? When you say new in the past, for example, flew, and so on and so on. The only difference here will be that this is past form of the verbs, but this one is the first form of the verbs. Yeah, so it's to brew. Okay, he brews beer in his garden, for example. Lucky guy would like to try it. Yeah, he brews beer, for example. And when we have a small company which brews beer, which produces beer, there is no much transformation. So u, and then a, ua, brewery. Okay, brewery. Always remember this sound, W, so to say. Well, the sound W, okay? It's not a consonant, it's not V. I know that in German, for example, yes, in Polish, they see a consonant when they see this letter, but it's not a consonant. And in this particular case, it's not even pronounced, so brewery, brewery. I hope now it's easy, right? And we are moving on, and one more very interesting word, which people feel lost about. When people sing together, for example, in the church, or we had a choir at school, because it's a very old word. There's words with CH combinations, yeah, like for example, chemistry, architect, and for example, archive. Yeah, so the place where we keep big like old documents and so on and so on. These are all words which came to English from Latin. That's why we say k here. Chemistry, architect, archive, and in the same way here. So it's k, and then the crazy thing starts. You will say choir. I can't explain why. It's due to some historical shift, yeah, in the sounds. But don't be afraid of this word. Choir. Choir. Okay, and now let's revise. Percent, Europe, European, Q, brewery, choir. Well, now you're real champions of the English pronunciation because we have worked with 5 of the most crazy words in terms of pronunciation in the English language. Please look at the next screen, practice reading the sentences, listen to the correct pronunciation and repeat after the speaker.
1. My friends sing in a choir. 2. We own a small brewery. 3. What a long queue.
And my congratulations, you are now the champion of the English pronunciation. Thank you very much for watching.